In Fallout 76, weapons can truly have insanely high values, ranging from hundreds of thousands of caps into the multi-millions. In this video, I will show you the top 5 best weapons in Fallout 76, their best legendary roles, and finally, placing a value on them in caps, just to give you an idea on what players are willing to trade for these insanely rare items. I recently infiltrated the Fallout 76 trading Reddit to acquire some realistic values for items in the Wasteland, skillfully avoiding being banned by not asking for any price checks, as that may be a bannable offense. Just like war, the market never changes. A quick note here that since no one character can hold more than 40,000 caps, these values were calculated by using items that were traded. For example, if a player were to purchase a 100,000 cap item, they would trade approximately 1,000 Cobalt Flux, which goes for about 100 caps on average. Now that that is out of the way, starting with the first weapon, the Holy Fire. This weapon normally sells for about 5 to 15,000 caps, coming standard with vampires, increased rate of fire, and breaking 50% slower, as its standard legendary effects. A very useful weapon for any beginner, assuring survivability. What sets this flamer apart from a normal flamer? Its secret legendary effect of Cursed, giving it faster fire rate, increased damage, but with a negative drawback of lower durability. In the current system, hits with a vampire weapon stack, healing you more the faster that you can deal damage. Sadly, in the updated system, so far, it will only refresh your healing over time, no longer allowing you to heal based on your weapon speed, making the increased weapon speed on this weapon a lot less useful for healing purposes. But until we have the new system to try out, we can only speculate. Now that you know what makes this weapon so special, let's talk about the top 3 roles. For this weapon, the first 2 effects here are mandatory, but the last effect is what makes these dramatic jumps in prices. A bloodied, weapon speed, reduced weight Holy Fire fetches you somewhere around 250 to 375,000 caps. Heavy weapons, being the heaviest in Fallout 76, benefit the most from weapon weight reduction, justifying this weapon's insane price tag. With the last legendary effect of breaking slower, this would increase the value of this weapon from 350 all the way up to 550,000 caps. Due to the Holy Fire's Cursed effect giving it lower durability, this is a perfect addition. The most expensive Holy Fire role that I have found was Bloodied, weapon speed, with reduced AP cost for a staggering price of 600,000 caps. I assume it is due to the weapon having a high damage output, and the addition of VATS criticals will increase that even further. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Moving on to our next weapon, Railway Rifles, or RWRs for obvious reasons. This behemoth of a weapon is famous for taking down every boss in Fallout 76. If you thought a few hundred caps was a lot, this is where it gets extreme. With a roll of quad, crit damage, and reduced AP cost, one of these rifles could be valued up to 1.1 million caps. Currently, my strongest personal weapon. Replace that legendary effect of crit damage with explosive though, and players will be willing to spend even more, increasing this roll's value by another 100,000 caps. Personally, an explosive weapon just makes a huge mess of junk for me to clean up later. Understandably though, explosive is likely more expensive due to it being able to hit multiple enemies, specifically dealing extra damage to larger enemies when hitting multiple parts. Perfect for boss fights. The most expensive role that has been sold to my knowledge was a quad, increased fire rate, reduced AP cost Railway Rifle. With the insane price tag of 1.3 million caps, the increased weapon speed will undoubtedly give it the advantage on how long it takes to kill creatures. And this brings me to my next sad point. The weapon will be getting nerfed in a future update, cutting its fire rate in half. This is a benefit to any non-VATS user though, as it will finally give you the ability to shoot the rifle without VATS without praising God Howard in the sky. Could this be the end to one of the top boss killers in all of Fallout 76? Probably not, but just in case, RIP Railway Rifles. The next weapons on the list are the Fixer and the Handmade. Being virtually the same weapon, the only real difference is the Fixer is more geared to players that use VATS, and the Handmade is more for players who aim down sights. This is due to the Handmade having a lower recoil than the Fixer, making it perfect for anyone who likes some good old-fashioned shooting. Seeing how commando builds are the current meta, it's no surprise that the rest of these weapons will be rifles. But you may be surprised at the most valuable one. A quad critical reduced AP cost would be valued at around 1.1 million caps. My personal preference, seeing as increased weapon speed would increase the chance of server lag not registering your shots. And explosive, of course, always makes messes for us kleptomaniacs. Being a rifle, having critical damage replaced with explosive would increase the value by about 200,000 caps. Of course, for larger enemies with multiple parts, this is perfect. Explosive damage will far exceed any critical damage due to the extra splash damage. The only role that would make these weapons any more expensive, which I'm sure you've all guessed, quad weapon speed and reduced AP cost, is the most costly role, running to about 1.5 million caps. When the server lag is on your side, either of these weapons will clear out any enemy in the Wasteland. Before we get to the most expensive weapon, let's talk about Tesla rifles. The only legendary role that would be truly worth it on a Tesla rifle would be one with quad increased weapon speed with reduced AP cost. Tesla rifles are amazing for groups of enemies due to their electricity arcing to each one. A huge drawback would be the 15 ammo capacity that they come with standard. The V63 Bertha comes with a secret legendary effect of double, which increases its ammo capacity by just that, giving it 30 rounds per clip with the legendary effects of 2-shot, faster fire rate, and increased reload speed. I would say that this weapon is worth about 20,000 caps itself, only being so cheap due to it being easily obtained from the public event Dangerous Pastime. Finally, for the most expensive weapon that I could find being traded, a surprise to some, but not to many, the Enclave Plasma Rifle. For anyone with no clue why this weapon is so rare, this weapon cannot be crafted, nor can its mods be learned. Its mods are only available from being purchased at a very rare chance from certain NPC vendors or absorbently high prices from players. Seeing as getting this weapon itself is a hassle, and getting all the mods for this weapon is a near impossibility in itself, how much could one of these weapons possibly be with a perfect legendary role? Well, somewhere between 1.8 and 2.5 million caps. Sound about right? What role would possibly constitute such a high value? Surprisingly, a bloodied, increased weapon speed, and reduced AP cost are the best effects for this weapon, due to everyone's favorite use for it, the Flamer mod. Sadly though, in true Bethesda fashion, this was nerfed earlier this year, having its AP cost set to a fixed 30 points, losing the ability to reduce it further with any mods. Still the most expensive weapon, but definitely losing some of its value. Here are some honorable mentions. These values will still be high for natural roles in the coming future, but when the new legendary crafting system is finally released, getting these rolls yourself will be as easy as grinding for it or buying the right legendary mods from player vendors. This was just a price guide that I decided to throw together that I hope you all enjoyed. To anyone interested, I will leave a source that I found in the description. Though I might not agree with all the prices, I feel it's still helpful to see what traders feel these items will go for. As always guys, thank you so much for watching.